So that's the first question of this electrical engineering. Oh, I presume I must have left a question. Okay, we will come to that. I left a question of that in the last one. I'll come back to that. Let us complete this. I'll come back to that. By mistake, I had left one question. Okay, let us do this. This is electrical. Rafi told Mary, I'm thinking of watching a film this weekend. The following reports the above statement in indirect speech. So this is a direct speech and the indirect speech is being written. Rafi told Mary that he dash off watching a film that weekend. I'm sure everybody would be correct in answering this, that it was thinking of watching a film that weekend. Okay? This is simple. Next, permit is to dash, is analogous to enforce is to relax. And they have said, understand it by the meaning of the words. So, take your seconds to find out which one will it be. Okay, so you see, enforce and relax are actually antonyms of each other. Antonyms are opposites of each other. They are actually opposites, right? So here also the opposite of permit must be written. Now allow is synonymous in meaning to permit. License is absolutely different. Reinforce is absolutely a different meaning. But then forbid is obviously the opposite in meaning to that of permit. So we will say permit is to forbid, is analogous to enforce, is to relax. Right? Okay. Given a fair six-faced dice where the faces are labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, which is normal in a dice. What is the probability of getting a 1 on the first roll of the dice and a 4 on the second roll? Think it out. Okay, this is a very simple sum, very, very basic problem. See what is the probability of 1 falling on the first roll of the die? So I will say now the probability of 1 falling on the first roll of the die would be given by 1 by 6, because the total possible outcomes are 6 and out of which the favorable outcome is only 1. Then what is the probability of getting a 4 falling when you throw the die for a second time? I will say the probability of 4 falling is still 1 by 6, because the total possible outcomes are 6. And here the specific outcome that is asked for is only 1. Favorable outcome is 1 by 6. But then they have asked me that both of these functions must happen together. So that's a simultaneous activity. So I will say probability of 1 falling on the first roll and probability of 4 falling on the first roll would actually be rule of multiplication, 1 by 6 into 1 by 6. That is 1 by 36. So it would be option number A. I'm sure this is a very simple sum. Let's go on to the next. A recent survey shows that 65% of tobacco users were advised to stop consuming tobacco. The survey also shows that 3 out of 10 tobacco users attempted to stop using tobacco, based only on the information in the above passage, which means the above 2 lines. Which of the following options can be logically inferred with certainty? Matlab, you have to be very certain about the conclusion. Which of them can be done? So find it out. Take 30 seconds. I'm sure all of us found this to be pretty simple. See, 65% of tobacco users were advised to stop consuming tobacco. 3 out of 10 tobacco users attempted to stop using tobacco. Now 3 out of 10 is not a majority. Okay, so let us see. A majority of tobacco users who were advised to stop consuming tobacco made an attempt to do so. This is absolutely wrong because 3 out of 10 is definitely not a majority. A majority of tobacco users who were advised to stop consuming tobacco did not attempt to do so. This has to be absolutely correct. Absolutely. Because 7 out of 10 did not attempt to do so, which is a majority. So this stands out the winner. But then let us check the other two. Approximately 30% of tobacco users successfully stopped consuming tobacco. Now nowhere it has been mentioned as to whether they actually succeeded in stopping the consumption of tobacco or not. It has been said that they attempted. The same D, successfully stopped. That is nowhere written. So you cannot conclude these two. So we are sanguine that option number B is the correct option. Right? Let's go on to the next. In electrical, they have given this sort of a figure and they have asked how many triangles are present in the given figure. So quickly think it out. Take a minute or so maybe. Okay. See, let us take this original diagram. See, notice these small ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Methodically pass through them. So see, these 8. 8 is fixed. Now let us attempt to draw one, which is a bit cumbersome considering I presume more or less it looks like this. Now you see the second type will be the ones. See this whole stuff, this whole stuff, this whole stuff, and this whole stuff. These 4 triangles. So that would be 9, 10, 11, and 12, right? Now let's look at the next one. Now here, let us take this whole thing, this whole part. See, this is one triangle. This is the other one. And say this is the other two. These 4 triangles, I hope you can understand them. These are all made for the purpose of your understanding. This is 12, okay? So 12, this is say 13, this is 14, 15, and 16. Now, I can say, well, this line will also divide it into 2 triangles. So 17 and 18. And I can also say that this line will also divide it into 2 triangles, right? So that is 19 and 20. Bus, all are completed. So I will say 20 must be the answer. Coolly approach it. Okay? Don't try to work out any mathematics or permutation combination and all the fanciful stuff. Just coolly go through it. Okay? Let's go to the next. Students of all the departments of college who have successfully completed the registration process are eligible to vote in the upcoming college elections. However, by the time the due date for registration was over, It was found that surprisingly none of the students from the Department of Human Sciences had completed the registration process. Based only on the information provided above, which one of the following set of statements can be logically inferred with certainty? There are three statements provided, and you see in the options there can be multiple statements which are certain statements. Think it out. Okay. See, what are these statements? All those students who would not be eligible to vote in the college elections would certainly belong to the Department of Human Sciences. Well, on perusing this statement, one would tend to believe that it's absolutely correct. Array, you haven't registered. How can you engage in the election process? Right? How can you be eligible to vote? So this is definitely going to be true, because it has been said none of the students in the Department of Human Sciences completed the registration process. Let's go on to look at number 2. None of the students from departments other than human sciences failed to complete the registration process within due time. Now, where has this statement been stated? No. If somebody says that I have failed to solve a problem, doesn't imply that everybody else has successfully solved that problem. It may happen that other students also failed to register themselves, right? So this number 2 statement, I will not take it as an authentic one with certainty, and it's not a certain conclusion. Let's go to the third one. All the eligible voters would certainly be students who are not from the Department of Human Sciences. I will say yes, absolutely, because Department of Human Sciences have not even registered themselves. So they can't be eligible voters. So the eligible voters must be from departments other than the Department of Human Sciences, right? So this is absolutely correct. So I will say 1 and 3 can be said certainly. Now let us check out whether in any option there is this, and you see in B, it has been said that 1 and 3 is there. So I would in the exam tick or click B. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Now this is self-explanatory. Try to solve it. This is x square into 2 minus, I presume it's more or less the same that was in these options are the same that was written in the ECE one. And this is x into 2. I'm writing it out for your clarity actually, because they do appear a bit faded. So these are the options that I've written down. Think it out. Okay. Now you see, once again, the solution of these entirely depend on how good you know your types of functions. Say suppose this is a sort of a whatever. I hope you have understood what I meant. Okay. And let us suppose this is another part of that. Okay. Now I hope you are getting it. Now if you look at this carefully, see, had this been juxtaposed here, it would have looked like this, right? And then had this again got juxtaposed over here, it would have looked like this. So these type of functions are called odd functions. Odd functions are functions where f of x is not equal to f of minus x, but more better way, is equal to minus of f of minus x. Okay, this is mainly an order function. Now we have understood that this more accurately looks like that only. It's the same thing. See, if this went on, it would look like this, and this is not a very accurate diagram, but then again the reflection on this looks like this. See? So this is like that only. You must know your graphs. Now let us try to find out which of them are odd functions here. So let us check it out. See, let me take out the first one. So f of minus x I will put. So f of minus x would be x minus x square 2 to the power minus of minus x, which is the same thing. So I will say these two are same. So that's an even function. So that can never be an odd function. I will say, okay, let us look at this one, the bottom one, this one. See, f of minus x is minus of x, which is the same as mod of x. 2 to the power minus of minus x. Well, it changes, but can this be said to be the negative of that? No, it can't be said to be the negative of that. Absolutely not. Because then this still becomes positive. And whereas the power, the sign changes. But this is not negative of that. So this cannot be an order function. Okay, let us check this one out, number D. Okay, see, x will become minus x. It looks like happening. 2 to the power minus of minus x. So this becomes minus x 2 to the power x. Now, does that appear to be so? No, it isn't. Because how can that be negative of that? It isn't. Let us look at this one. See, minus x 2 to the power minus of minus x still becomes mod x. So this power remains the same. Whereas you observe that this has become a minus. So I will say number B is the only one that qualifies as an odd function. So this graph has to be the graph of this one. Honestly, one has no idea whether this graph is actually this graph or not. One can't have an idea of this complicated graphs. But then because this is an odd functions graph and the only odd function is number B, so it has to be that. Okay, I hope you have got it. So the knowledge about your functions does play a part here. Hope this is understood. Let's go to the next. Which one of the options does not describe the passage below or follow from it? We tend to think of cancer as a modern illness because its metaphors are so modern. It is a disease of overproduction, of sudden growth, a growth that is unstoppable, tipped into the abyss of no control. Abyss means free fall. Abyss of no control. Modern cell biology encourages us to imagine the cell as a molecular machine. Cancer is that machine unable to quench its initial command to grow and thus transform into an indestructible self-propelled automation. For many students who have not come from an English medium background, this might appear as a very difficult piece of passage. But then don't worry too much about these. By the way, this is adapted from The Emperor of All Maladies by Siddhartha Mukherjee. Just observe what is written in the options. Give it a try and then we will do it together. Okay, let us see. Option number A. It is a reflection of why cancer seems so modern to most of us. Now, first of all, it appears a trifle meaningless. First of all, it. What is it? Our tending to think of cancer as a modern illness? If so, it is a reflection of why cancer seems so modern to most of us. Well, that doesn't bear any relation to the passage. or this sentence cannot be inferred or concluded from the passage. So point number A, straightforward, is out. Number B, it tells us that modern cell biology uses and promotes metaphors of machinery. Well, the passage tells us modern cell biology, it is used there. I'm talking in terms of a student who has not studied in an English medium institute. Promotes metaphors of machinery. Now, how come metaphors of machinery be promoted? Because that is absolutely a foolish word to say. Nowhere in this passage such a thing is being said. Machinery's metaphors are being promoted. Why? No. So this automatically also will catch the students that no, this can never be right. Next, modern cell biology encourages metaphors of machinery, and cancer is often imagined as a machine. Modern cell biology encourages us to imagine the cell as a molecular machine, encourages metaphors of machinery, and imagining it as a machine are entirely different. Metaphors are different varieties. Ugly machine, bad machine, these are metaphors of machine. Okay? And cancer is often imagined as a machine. This part is absolutely correct. It follows. But then this part definitely doesn't follow. So I will say, okay, this doesn't look nice. I am that student who has not studied in an English medium school. Next, I will go to the next one. Modern cell biology never uses figurative language. Figurative language means flowery language, like, oh, the blue sky appeared to descend upon us like heaven descending. When you have very flowery language, I mean, a normal person would have said, oh, the sky is very blue. Right now? So I hope you understand. Modern cell biology never uses figurative language. That's what is being said here. Encourages us to imagine the cell as a machine. Now, machine can't be figurative, right? It can't be artistic and figurative. So this agrees. And such as figurative language, such as metaphors. So metaphors obviously fall under figurative language to describe or explain anything. This appears the most correct amongst all of those which we studied. And hence, as a student who has not studied such flowery English in school, I would say, but still option D appears to be the best, and I would take it, and it would be the right one. I hope I could explain myself on this factor. From the point of view of students, majority of our engineers, they do not always come from English medium background. Let's go on to the next one. The digit in the units place of the product of, it doesn't appear very nicely visible, so I'm writing it like for you. 3 to the power 999 into 7 to the power 1000 is what? Units digit. The units digit is what? Now, how to do this? We must all know that if we take successive powers of, say, digits, now digits are how many? From 0 to 9. Now forget 0 because that is useless. So 1 to 9, let us take. So if you take the successive powers of digits from 1 to 9, we must be knowing that for 1, that for 5, and for 6, the units digit of the successive powers will always be 1, 5, or 6 respectively for them. For the rest, that is 2, 3, 7, and 8, there are still 2 more left. But for these, the units digit of the successive powers actually follows a cycle of 4, cyclicity of 4. Why? See, I'm sure you must be knowing 2 to the power 1. See, the units digit is 2. 2 to the power 2, the units digit is 4. 2 to the power 3, the units digit is 8. 2 to the power 4, the units digit is 6. 2 to the power 5, the units digit is 2. 2 to the power 6, the units digit is 4. 2 to the power 7, the units digit is 8. 2 to the power 8, the units digit is 6. See the cyclicity being followed. Cyclicity of 4. And that of 4 and 9 which were left, the units digit of the successive powers, they follow a cycle of 2. Okay, this is a very basic fact. I'm sure all of us know this. Now look at this here. 3 and 7 all both qualify here. Cyclicity of 4, they follow. So what you do is, in case of 3, you divide 999 by 4 and try to find out what the remainder is. Why by 4? Because it's a cycle of 4. Had it been a cycle of 2, I would have divided by 2. And had it been 1, 5 or 6, I wouldn't even need to divide. It would be 1, 5 or 6 always, whatever be the power. So well, but cutting a long story short, the remainder is 3 here. 999 divided by 4, the remainder is 3. So I will say the units digit of 3 to the power 999 will be equal to the units digit of 3 to the power 3, because the remainder was 3. This 3 is there in the power. And units digit of 3 to the power 3 is what? Is 7. 3 to the power 3 is 27, right? So that is 7. So we know this. Now 7 also follows a cyclicity of 4. So I will divide 1000 by 4 and try to find out the remainder, which is 0. Now the moment I say that, why 4? Because the cyclicity is 4 of 7. Because the remainder is 0, it means the units digit of 7 to the power 1000 will be equal to the units digit of 7 to the power 4. What is the units digit of 7 to the power 4? It is 1. So basically the units digit of 3 to the power 3 is 7, units digit of 7, rather 3 to the power 999 is 7, the units digit of 7 to the power 1000 is 1, and since you are multiplying them, so basically it is 7 into 1, that is 7. So this is our answer. I hope we understood. Right? Let's go on to the next one. So this is a mensuration diagram, a mensuration problem. A square with sides of length 6 centimeter is given. So you can see this is a square. This is 6 and this is also 6 centimeter. That's what they say. The boundary of the shaded region that is clearly seen here is defined by 2 semicircles whose diameters are the side of the square. Right? You can see the diameter is the side of the square. That's why the radius is 3, because the diameter is 6. The area of the shaded region is how much? This is once again the most challenging one of the electrical department's general ability test. Come on, try this out. Okay. See, this is the square first of all. So what is the area of the square? Area of square. Don't be confused, be cool. Area of the square would be 6 into 6, that is 36 square centimeter. That's the area of the square. Now I hope you can understand that this is a semicircle, right? So what is that area of that semicircle? Area of each semicircle. Area of semicircle. What is that? Now area of a circle is pi r square. So pi into 3 square, and the area, since it's a semicircle, so it will be half into that, right? I hope you understand. So 9 by 2 is 4.5 pi centimeter square. It's area of a semicircle. Now there are only 2 semicircles given. Just imagine that there are 4 such semicircles. It would have somewhat looked like this, right? And just imagine, see, these 4 things that would have, like the petals of a flower, right? These 4 things would have got created also, right? Now, what would be the summation of the 4 semicircles? Summation of area of 4 semicircles. Very simply, it's 4 into that. All of the semicircles will have the same thing, same rather area. So that would be this. So that would be 18 pi centimeter square. That is the area of the 4 semicircles, right? I hope this is understood. But then they would have overlapped, forming these sort of petal-like structures, right? All of these petal-like structures would be equal in area because the semicircles are equal in area. Okay, and this is a square actually. Now, what would be the summation of the area of these 4 petals? Summation of area of, say, 4 of these petals. I am writing it as petals to make it short. What would be this? I'll say from the area of these 4 semicircles, subtract the area of the square. You will get the area of those petals right now. So I will say it would be 18 pi minus 36. Right? Now this is the summation of the area of 4 petals. So what would be the summation of area of each petal? Of one petal must be divided by 4, right? Pretty simple. Divided by 4 centimeters square. I hope you got it. You can actually even find a value for this. This will become 4.5 only if you divide it by 4. Back to pavilion. And this is minus 9. Sorry. Centimeters square. So that's the area of one petal. Now what have they asked? They have asked you the area of these 2 shaded portions. Actually shaded portions in the diagram. So won't you say now? The area of the actual shaded portion would be the final area. I'm not writing actual shaded portion. That would be summation of area of 2 semicircles minus twice the area, okay, of one of those petals, twice the area of petals. Now why is that? Because this area would be created once by this semicircle and again by this semicircle. When you are adding them, this area comes in twice. You will have to deduct this throughout. This white should not be there. So you'll have to deduct it twice, right? So minus twice the area of the petals of one petal, not petals, area of one petal. So what is that? What is the summation of the area of 2 semicircles? See, the area of one semicircle was 4.5. So 2 semicircles would be 2 into 4.5 pi minus twice the area of one petal. So minus twice. So this is the area of one petal, 4.5 pi minus 9. Okay. So this will have to be subtracted and one can clearly see that this, what happened? That this and this gets cancelled if you open the bracket, minus and minus. And what is left out is 18. So it will be 18 centimeters square is our answer. So where is the option? Here lies the option of it. Right? I hope you understood.